We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creators with a certain unalienable right, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Here's what we think social media does to mental health in teens.
Uh, how do you think the use of free speech has changed in social media over the years?
I feel like we still have free speech. I feel that some things that people do and say on social media are hurtful to other people, and they don't realize the depth or the breadth of the hurt that they're, um, I don't know, I guess, making other people feel bad. And so I feel like it's not an issue of free speech as much as it is an issue of lack of manners.
I'll say something relatively short about that. It's better in some ways because I think the public is more aware of the fact that there's a lot of misinformation and disinformation swirling online, swirling in the media, and we're kind of prepared for it. We're not necessarily prepared to recognize it. And two things that
How does social media influence mental health in teens?
So there's been a lot of research over the past 10 to 15 years about social media and its impact on mental health. What they're finding is with longer usage, like 3 hours or more a day of social media, then our mental health actually decreases. So we see an increase in anxiety and an increase in depression, especially with teens. And so I think it becomes highly addictive. And I also, that's part that scares me. We already have enough mental health issues and concerns in our culture, and then if that use of social media is increasing, that's concerning.
In fact, one of the main slides referenced in the article includes a survey of 12 difficult and serious issues like loneliness, anxiety, sadness, and eating disorders. We asked teens who told us that they were struggling with these issues whether Instagram was making things better, worse, or having no effect. On 11 of the 12 issues, teen girls who said they struggled with those issues were more likely to say that Instagram was affirmatively helping them, not making it worse. That was true for teen boys on 12 of 12 issues.
I was proud to work along with Senator Brian Schatz and Ted Cruz and Chris Murphy, as we also reflected on this problem as parents. That's why our bipartisan group introduced the Kids Off Social Media Act. It would prevent kids under 13 from creating a social media account, something that social media companies say they do anyway, so that shouldn't be a problem.
We went to our fellow classmates to ask their opinion of the pros and cons of social media. Here are the pros.
With social media, it allows you to, talk with people. It allows you to see what your friends are up to, post updates about yourself. It lets you, connect easier with people you know and might not know.
Well, I'd say that social media is a great way to make a lot of connections with people that otherwise you'd never really get to know or learn new perspectives about. Like, with me, I use Discord a lot, and I've met some of my closest friends through that.
I feel like the pros are you get to experience a lot of connection with other people and can build a community online.
Here are the cons.
But unfortunately, with how normalized it is, I do think that people get a little too comfortable using it and share a lot of private information that really does not need to be known. And that can lead to some really either toxic relationships, as I figured out through telling people things, or just you don't need to share all of that information about yourself. It's great to meet new people, but you gotta know the risk.
I feel like a lot of the cons are things like bullying, things like grooming, a lot of bad things that can happen on social media because you're just ignorant and vulnerable.
But it really lets you, get a glimpse into other people's lives, which can kind of, if you see other people doing well, kind of put you down, or obviously there's sad stuff on there. There's people who maybe you don't want to communicate with who can contact you. It's a great place for connection, but some of those connections you might not want.
In conclusion, social media wasn't meant to be bad. People just abused their rights of freedom of speech and made it so social media spread more harmful media, and that can be really harmful to everyone. Despite this, social media can offer support and connection for both people and teens alike. But this is just our opinion. What do you think?